Hi, it's Alex from You Should Craft, and today I'll show you how to crochet the ripple pattern in my Mystic Ripple throw. So in order to crochet this, you'll need your yarn. I'm using a number 6 super bulky yarn called Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. And I'm using a 12mm crochet hook. This hook is a little bit bigger than what's recommended for the yarn, but it'll give your blanket kind of a looser feel. And it'll also crochet up really quickly. And then you'll also just need scissors and a tapestry needle, which you'll be using to both join your yarn and to weave in your ends when you're done. In order to crochet this blanket, your starting chain will be in multiples of 15 plus 5. So how much yarn you need and how many chains you need to start your to start your blanket, that will just depend on which size you've chosen. So I'm going to be making the lovey size, which is like about the size of a blanket that a kid would carry around with them. So I want 2 repeats of the ripple pattern. So I'm gonna chain 30 plus 5. So I'll chain 35. So go ahead and pause the video while you finish your starting chain. And then I'll join back with you when you're crocheting your first round. So I've crocheted my 35 chains, and you should at this time have however many chains you need for the blanket size you've chosen. And again, it's 15 plus 5. So if you wanted a blanket that had 2 repeats like mine, you would crochet 30 plus 5. So your chain could be longer or probably not shorter, but it could be the same size or longer than mine. All right, so to start, we are going to half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So not this one, we're skipping this one. That'll be our turning chain. And then we're going to crochet a half double crochet in this one. So to half double crochet, you'll yarn over, put your hook in, and for this first row, we're only using the back loops. That's just how I like to start projects. It makes it look a little bit more clean, and it's also easier to get your hook in one loop. But anyway, so we put our hook in, we're yarning over, pulling that first loop over. Now we have 3 loops left on our hook, so we'll yarn over one more time and then pull all 3 of these guys through. And I find that it's always harder on your starting chain. But so we'll half double crochet in our next stitch. And I'm trying to go slow so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So this is not part of the repeat. This is just how we start our blanket. So it'll start and end like this, and the repeat section will start soon. But so we've got our 2 half double crochets, and now we're going to skip a chain. So we're skipping this next one, and so we'll put a half double crochet here, and now this is the beginning of that repeated section of the blanket. So we're going to half double crochet 6 going up, and that will be like it'll look kind of like this. So the top of the 6 will be like a peak in our blanket. So we've got 1 half double, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, and 6. So we have our 6 half double crochets going up that mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so now in order to make this peak like really a triangle shape, we need to crochet more into this very top stitch. So I'm going to crochet 3 half double crochets into this next one. So 1, 2, and 3. And remember, they're all going in this same chain. So you can kind of start to see it, but it's starting to look like the top of our mountain or our peak. And so now we need to go down into the valley. So we're going to half double crochet 6 into these next chains. All right, so we are crocheting down our valley. We need 6 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now you can see that it's really shaping up to be that first kind of peak in our ripple. But now this will end up being our valley. So since we added stitches up here at the top, we need to skip stitches down here. So we're going to skip the next 2 chains and then crochet a half double crochet in the third one from our hook. So we'll skip 1, 2, and we'll put our half double crochet here in number 3. And so this was the end of our repeat. So this is like one repeat. So this lovey sized blanket will end up having 2 kind of peaks like this. So we've got our first one, and this is that repeat. Now we're doing 6 half doubles up this mountain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now you can start to see kind of this like zigzag ripple pattern. So now that we've got 6 going up our mountain, we need to put our 3 half doubles in the top of our mountain again. And remember, we're putting them all in that same chain. So 1, 2, 3. And then now we'll half double crochet 6 going down the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is our ripple pattern for our blanket. So a bigger blanket would have more of these ripples, but ours just has 2. So we've got one chunk here, and that's one repeat, and then our second repeat is this chunk here. And so we still have this little end tail, and we're going to do for this the same thing that we started with. So we'll skip 1 and then do 2 more half double crochets, and that will finish off row number 1. Right. So this is the start, row number 1 of our blanket. So we just finished one of 2 main repeats in this blanket. So this is our solid row. So anytime you don't want gaps, this is the row that you'll use. But we also have a row that uses double crochets and has like holes in it. And so that is the second kind of repeat. And so that'll help us make our blanket pattern. So after you've finished your solid row, you'll chain 1. And we are going to do double crochets for this row. And it's going to follow a similar pattern to what we did before, but you'll be chaining to skip some, and that'll kind of give you those like cool holes. Okay, so we've chained 1, we've yarned over. We put our hook in our stitch from the previous row. And then we pull through 2 loops and pull through the last 2. So there's our first double crochet. We're going to do 1 more double crochet. Remember, this is that little like nubbin that sticks out on the side. And so now we're going to skip a stitch. So we've got 2 double crochets, skip a stitch, put our next one in here, and this will start our repeat for this style of row. So pull through, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, pull through again. And so we're still going to go 6 up to the top of the mountain, but some of those 6 are going to be chains. So we've got our stitch number 1. Stitch number 2 is going to be a chain. So we'll chain 1 and we'll skip this stitch below it, and we'll put a double crochet in this next one. So skip, and we're putting our double crochet here. And so you see we've got kind of these gaps coming up. And so this will just add interest to your blanket. So now we'll chain 1. So we've got 1, 2, 3, or that chain is our 4th. And we'll skip the next one, put it in, and this will be number 5. And so our 6th stitch going up that mountain is a chain. So now we're at that peak where we're going to put in more stitches. So we'll skip 1, and now at the top, instead of doing 3 solid stitches, we're going to do 1 double crochet, and then a chain, and then a second double crochet. So we'll still have 3 stitches up there, but the middle one is a chain. And And so see, this is just kind of adding visual interest to our blanket. But now we need to go down into this valley again. So we're going to use the same pattern, but now we'll be starting with a chain because our last stitch was a double crochet. So we're still going in multiples of 6, but remember some of them are chains. So number 1 is a chain. So we'll skip this stitch and we'll put our number 2 here. Chain. That's number 3. Here's number 4. We skipped a stitch between. Number 5 is a chain. And so our last stitch will be a double crochet. And this will be coming right before we do that skip 2. All right. So here's the end of that repeat. And so we're going to repeat this same process going up this next mountain or peak. So we're going to skip 2 and we'll start with our double crochet. So this is stitch number 1 going up the mountain. Chain for number 2. Skip 1 and double crochet for number 3. Skip 1. Here is 5. And then remember, our number 6 will be a chain. And then so here we are at the top of our next mountain. And so here's where we do the 3, but remember this time it is double crochet, chain, and then our other double crochet. So now we will chain and we're going down the other side of our mountain into our last little baby valley. Because remember at the end we have those like just that little nub that we finish off. So we've got our chain for our first stitch. We'll skip 1 and our second stitch will be a real double crochet. Chain, skip 1, do our next double crochet, chain, do our last double crochet, and so that completes our second repeat. So we have 2 of these like mountaintops. And so then we have this little nub with the 3 stitches at the end. And so we will finish like we started. So we'll skip 1 and then we'll double crochet to finish off this row. So we skipped 1 and we've got double crochet and our last double crochet. So here's the first 2 rows of the lovey size of the blanket. Again, if you had more starting chains in those multiples of 15 plus 5, then you would just be repeating this same pattern from like valley to valley. And you would just repeat that however many times it takes until you get to the end and you have those last 3 stitches, and then you'll just skip one and do your last 2 double crochets. So these are the 2 main repeats. I'll show you one more of the salad row just so you can see how the salad goes kind of on top of this one with the holes. But that is pretty much it. But so keep watching if you want to see how the salad row goes on top. And if not, then you are totally ready to start crocheting your blanket all by yourself. So thanks for watching. All right, so if you're back to see how the salad row looks on top, then welcome back. So we finished up our row with our double crochets and the holes. So now we will chain 1 and turn. And so our salad row is going to be the exact same as the salad row we started with, but it is a little bit weird to put it on top of these stitches. I think that a lot of people, me included, kind of want to go like into the hole instead of into the top of the stitch. And normally that doesn't matter, but for this, I find that it's a lot easier to keep track of your stitches if you're like literally going in the stitch. Otherwise, the stitches slide around a little bit more, and then you can kind of miss them. So for our salad rows, we're back to those half double crochets. And so we'll start off with our 2 half doubles. So 1, 2, and then we will skip a stitch. And so we'll put our next one into what was the chain from the previous round. And this half double crochet that I just finished marks the first of the 6 that we need to climb up to the peak of this mountain. So we've got 1, 2, and I find that it's like harder to crochet into chains than it is to crochet into stitches, but that's just how it goes, I guess. So we've got 1, 2, 3 up our mountain, 4, and then you kind of gonna jam it in there. 5 and 6. And so now we are at the top. So we're at the spot where we need those 3 half double crochets into this top stitch. So it is also a chain. You technically can crochet the 3 stitches just into this hole up here. You'll just need to make sure that you're not like squishing over on top of the top of another stitch, or you might like lose a stitch and then you won't realize until you get to the end of the row when you don't have enough stitches. So again, it's personal preference, but for me, I find it easier to keep track of my stitches if I crochet into the stitch instead of like over it. So I've got 1, 2, and 3 at the top of my mountain. And then we'll crochet down here again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so that is the end of your first repeat. And then so you would skip these next 2 stitches and then begin half double crocheting back up to the top of the next peak. But I think that this should show you how to just put the solid row on top of the one with the holes. But so that's all that I have for you today. I hope that this helps you to crochet the Mystic Ripple throw. I'll also have some pictures on my blog, on the You Should Craft blog, or you can buy the pattern from like Etsy or Ravelry. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have an awesome day, and please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to follow and keep up with all the cool tutorials and patterns that we have. So thanks again.